Doing good.
I guess we should go ahead and get right to it. Welcome all y'all to the first ever Prism Black podcast episode. I am Will Murphy from here on forth. I will be going as Murphy's Law 615, aka also known as. And these are my two nearest and dearest, bestest, good closest friends. Gentlemen, y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'll go. I am Javon Banks, longtime anime watcher, longtime comic reader, longtime geek. I need y'all to know that because
Gang.
yeah,
Gang.
it wasn't always popular. So I'm true to this, not new to this, but yeah, I go by Banks itself on Instagram. You want to follow me? I got some nice art on there, nice pictures to look at. Follow me on there. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Awesome. I am Carl Tomlinson. I guess my alias name, my author name is Chaos Black, but I'm big time comic book fan, big time anime fan since grade school. And I'll keep it simple, just leave it at that.
Well, I like how y'all totally gave a whole bunch of details about yourselves, and I ripped the Joe Budden line and threw it right to y'all. So let me circle back and at least I'm a long time avid comic book reader, into anime as well, anything pop culture, gaming, sports, all that good stuff. But this podcast is going to be centered around kind of building and establishing the Prism Black community. For those of you who may not know, that is a company that is very much a digital media company based in Nashville, in Texas, that is very much in the business of putting out Black creative content, but just content in general when it comes to anime, comics, you know what I'm saying? Banks himself is the founding father and author of the first three product, well, not product, I don't want to say product, but stories. Stories, like my man's got some dope stories, some dope ideas. You can see behind me the Revenge series, Jet Grind Mix Up, first two launches. You can holler at, we got the domain set up yet?
Not for those. I don't have them set up all the way. I got the bankshimself.com that you can look at, but it's just for the stories. Not much on there as far as like comments or whatever, but it's got the main.
Y'all can definitely follow the Prism Black IG page. Subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. Carl, you got anything that you want to promo before we get right to it?
Now let's go.
All right. So, Prism Black, three geeks, long time, finally getting an opportunity to talk about shit we like. You know what I mean? Starting with some animes, bro. All right, what introduced y'all to anime or kind of got you into it or hooked on it, shall we say?
You go first.
You want to leave with that? Or Carl?
I gotta go first.
Yeah.
Okay. So what got me into anime? I wasn't a TV show, and I didn't get into it from TV shows like most people would have. Back in the day, you had like search and stuff. So like as a kid, I was just like scrolling through TV channels, and I happened to wake up early enough and be scrolling through TV as a kid to land on Sci-Fi Channel, and they was playing this movie called Project Lily Cat, which is a horror anime. It's a horror anime movie. So that is what led me to like getting up every Saturday at the same time to turn on Sci-Fi Channel, see if they'll plan another movie like that. And then that's when I stumbled upon Akira. Like I had to be like first grade. So I was like 6, 7, and like seeing stuff like that versus Simpsons. No offense to Simpsons, because I love Simpsons too, but like seeing Akira and then realizing that, to me that stuff looked real. I mean, looking back, it's not photo real, but like compared to what I was watching at the time as a kid, it looked real. Like detail in it was just amazing to me. So that kind of like, I was like, what, I was on TV, like, not on TV, but like after seeing the movie, I was like, I was hoping for the commercials to come on so they could tell me when they would say, now back to so and so and so. I was hoping for the commercial to come on so I could find out what movie this was.
Yeah,
and
we've
like,
come a long way, haven't we? You have to wait for it to back to the schedule program. Like today, you just hit a button, like, stream.
It's like finding out what it is. But yeah, I was waiting on the commercial to tell me what movie it was. I was like, man, well, I can't wait for this to go to commercial so I can find out what this is. So I found out what it was, and then like every Saturday that I woke up and watched Sci-Fi Channel, I was hoping that would come on. So like the 2-3 times that it did come on in that span of time where they were doing that on there, like it was like the best Saturday for me, like best Saturday morning. Like, yes, my movie's on. So it went from Akira into just like, I need more of that. I need more of like that type of content, like that type of cartoon, whatever. So like that's kind of just what drove me into like liking anime a lot. Like watching Akira, would come on every morning. So down with like Vampire Hunter Steve, stuff like Venus Wars. Stuff that's probably too mature for my age, but hey, that's what I like.
I remember back in the days when we had to go to like Suncoast to San Brady, and literally walking down the anime aisle, and there was always centerpiece or centerfold that like an Akira display or a box sets around like Akira, just like that. That him walking up to the bike, red leather jacket, and just that shit was captivating. Like I must have looked at that video at least 100 times before I ever even got the chance to sit down and watch it. Just wondering what it was.
I bought it. I bought the anime. I bought Akira for every time it came out. When it came out on VHS and remastered. So I bought the original Akira. It wasn't the original Akira, but like I bought the unmastered VHS Akira. And then when they did it in HD, I bought that one. When they put it out on DVD, I bought that one. Only thing I don't have is Blu-ray. Blu-ray, not really. But I got it digitally. I got it VHS. My VHS tape is at home back in Nashville. So yeah.
VHS. Woo.
Yeah.
Boy, signs of the times, right?
Yeah, shit feel like it. And these VHS figures.
That was the time to be alive. What about you, Carl?
Anime. It was like, what a tape at? I need to tape.
Big facts. If you couldn't buy it at a Suncoast, you knew somebody who had an older brother or cousin who had a tape.
If you couldn't buy it at Suncoast and you knew somebody that had it, it was like for real. This is my thing. Like you had to really be looking for it, find it back.
Or like flea markets and shit like that. I mean, they do like little comic conventions, Great Escape.
Like people stumbled upon, like you had to look for it.
Yeah, big facts. The mainstream shit wasn't, or what we would consider mainstream wasn't a thing yet, but we'll get into that a little later. Carl, what about you? What brought you to anime?
So my journey to anime was very cookie cutter and very commonplace, kind of like a lot of people kind of took my route. So I didn't grow up like with like a head start. Not that it's just a head start, but to me, like I consider it like a head start because I didn't know anything about Akira or anything along those lines. Like, I mean, I've seen like what you were talking about with the bike and the leather jacket. That I didn't know that's what it was at the time. I was just like, oh, okay. But so my first taste of anime was like a lot of people's was Cartoon Network. So I remember one of the first shows I saw was like Robotech, and like I remember after that, like seeing Dragon Ball Z, seeing Gundam Wing, seeing eventually seeing Inuyasha, like late at night when like most of the mainstream cartoons had gone off and whatnot. And I just remember thinking like, because at the time, the only form of animation I was really watching was like Batman, the animated cartoon, and like Saturday morning like cartoons. That was a good so like once I saw Dragon Ball Z, I was like, oh my gosh, it's killing all this other stuff. Like what? Like where has this been like all my life? It's crazy because my dad, who's I mean, people his age, I never saw anybody like that watch anime, but like he was watching it with me too, and like he was just as amazed as me. He's almost like 60 some years old and still talks to me about Dragon Ball GT and whatnot, and like all these other different things. I'm going off on a tangent, but that was my introduction to anime. That led me to watching a slew of other different shows that we'll get into in the podcast throughout the year, and I'll let Will take it from there.
Man, what would you say was the first? Because I know you said you saw Akira, but if you could think of something around, because we're thinking what Akira time Suncoast, that's what, late 90s?
Yeah, I remember so from I used to buy Dragon Ball Z tapes from Suncoast just because like they had the like little picture on the back, and like I would match them all the way up. Like that they would tell a story, and I still have them to this day.
They told a whole mural. Like you got a whole. Do they still do that?
I don't. No, I don't. They can't still do that because everything's digital now.
So, but yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. You were talking about DBZ.
No, I was just saying. Like I remember going to Suncoast buying Dragon Ball Z tapes and whatnot, and like I didn't even know it was called anime then. I just thought like these are some dope, and like this is sacrilegious now, but at the time I was just like, these are some dope cartoons.
Whoa.
This is
Edit that part out, bro.
I mean, it was. You go like, oh yeah, this is anime. I don't know,
I think I only knew to call it anime because I was late to the party very much. And the person who introduced me to it was like, nah, man, this is anime. Like one of those types that's just was very adamant about that. My first intro, believe it or not, wasn't Dragon Ball Z. Somewhere between the transition to Thundercats and Transformers to the X-Men Saturday morning, a friend of mine put me up on, that I went to school with, Ian Gray. Shout out to you. Where you at, Ian? Put me up on Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D. And Ninja Scroll, which I had to go back with. I still own that. Like I bought a DVD years ago back then when I had to hook up the media player. And 1993, what people would consider an OG classic. Would y'all agree, disagree?
Well, hold on. What was the question again? I need to hear this before
that Ninja Scroll is an OG classic. Come on, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know you agree with that. Like I wanted to ask for the listeners' sake, but I know you agree. Carl, what about you?
I can't speak on it because I'm ignorant to Ninja Scroll. Like because by the time I started really watching anime, I didn't know what Ninja Scroll was.
Word, yo, that's wild. I mean, I can't talk because this guy's never watched Naruto.
I mean,
and there's a few others. Yu Yu Hakusho as well. There's a few others that people would consider classics that I've yet to actually sit down and just like binge through.
Yeah, Yu Yu.
What was that? You know what Yu Yu Hakusho?
Bro,
I forgot Yu Yu Hakusho was one of the first animes I watched.
I think I was more focused on football or something like that. Like I had some extracurriculars going on. I just kind of wasn't watching a lot of anime at one point. In fact, only in the past 2 to 3 years have I recently gotten back into really getting back in touch with it. But that's nuts that, but not really, because like Ninja Scroll, again, and we can use that to segue into the whole mainstream conversation. It's something that I would definitely call an anime classic, just off its sheer influence. So a couple of fun facts, just to give you a quick synopsis without ruining it. You have a wandering swordsman, Jubei Kibigami, who was loosely based on the actual historical Jubei, I believe Jubei Yagi, who has been depicted or used in multiple allures, animes for sure, but I'm not 100% sure if that's folklore or actual history. I have to do my Googles and some research on that. But it is regarded as one of the earlier, more influential anime films alongside Akira and Ghost in the Shell. The Wachowski brothers creators of the Matrix are definitely quoted as saying it influenced them in their story. And just to give you a kind of overview, you have a wandering swordsman, a shit ton of ninja mythology, a shogunate, the Tokugawa shogunate, and these 8 devils of Kimono, who are 8 individuals with enhanced or somewhat supernatural abilities, who are hell bent on driving Japan into eternal darkness, some shit like that. And it's really fucking cool. Excuse my language. I don't know if we can curse yet on this. We'll figure that out. But it's a dope movie, though.
Yeah.
And I gotta give props. 1993, that is created by Yoshiaki Kawajiri. I'm not actually 100% sure if it's available on any stream platforms. I've been searching and I have not found it yet. But like I said, I do own that. But that and Vampire Hunter D. Those were the 2 that I think brought me to anime fully. Of course, Vampire. Have you gentlemen watched that? Both of you?
Heard of it, never watched it.
I watched it. I've watched it a lot. Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was a lot bigger than I gave it credit for. Like, also a much earlier OG anime, but a super successful manga before it was even adopted into anime. I've only seen the original movie and Bloodlust. And this is by Hideki Kikuchi, illustrated by Yoshitaka Amano. To date, they've got 33 novels and about 44 volumes. But I've only seen 2 of those. I liked how Bloodlust really dove into the vampire allegory. So, you get some hints of that in Castlevania if you ever tapped into that. But
and I think this is just my opinion. I think it's good to do this because it just shows you that everybody doesn't have to be cut from the same cloth when it comes to anime and even comics too. Just because like there's so many, there are thousands of animes out there. I mean, there's literally a niche for everyone. So I mean, we don't all have to be the same. We don't all have to agree to like everything or whatnot. But we can still talk about a lot of different topics and have a lot of commonality and things along that line. But I want to ask this question leading into something else. What are you guys looking forward to coming out in the not too distant future? What are some shows you guys are looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to watching like the new Neon Genesis. I'm looking forward to watching 2nd season of Megalobox. I know Megalobox is already up, but what's up?
Are you re-binging Neon Genesis?
No, they're making like new stuff for it.
Oh, they reboot?
No, it's not a complete reboot, but they're making new stuff for it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that.
We have any dates release wise on that?
I gotta look again. I seen it on Instagram.
Thanks. Tell me a little bit about those 2. Like I'm familiar with Megalobox, but not so much the first one you mentioned.
So the original Neon Evangelist, Genesis is about pretty much these monsters that come down that they call angels, and they really are angels. They're coming down to Earth to destroy it. And the whole story is really about how God and the angels are trying to fix the Earth, but people are fighting against it, even though it's for the greater good. Like they're destroying the Earth because it's messed up. So the angels are coming down to try to destroy Earth, but humans keep fighting against it. And the whole purpose of them is to destroy, stop the angels from, stop the monsters. But at the end you find out that they're angels from destroying the Earth, and it's real great. So that's where the philosophical part comes in, because you start damn, maybe we should destroy the Earth because hey, we are messing up.
People getting on the side of we should self-sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, I mean that's what the story was about, and then the story is about their survival, but the whole thing about the villains were actual angels coming down to you know, fix what's messed up.
Hmm.
So, but you know,
I remember I started watching it. God, it was months ago, definitely before the pandemic. I started watching that, and I remember thinking it was sometime before the second Pacific Rim came out. We were looking forward. I remember you and I were talking about the next one, and we were looking forward to it. I remember thinking it gave me those type of vibes. It was something about how that influenced, like which I can't remember. It was an older conversation we'll have, but you have to come back. But which older anime between Gundam or that was the influence for all these mech, like this trend of new mech everything? And I think I want to say Neon Genesis Evangelion probably had a lot to do with that, or has a lot. But you know, that's up to the deciders or the people who watch.
Hey, well, Will, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, Vaughn, did you finish?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I got a long list, so we can be here all day just looking at the stuff that I want to watch. So I can save some for next time we do this because you know I got a long list.
Talk, give a few more, shoot.
No,
I mean, that's why you, as you give stuff, I'm asking questions because it's something I might check it out as well. You know what I mean? That's why we have some conversation around it.
We can come back to it. Just that I don't, you know, what if it's something that somebody else got to say? I don't want to step on people's toes. So you know, if people don't mention some stuff, then you know.
Yeah, are we restricted on time on this, or
no? I'm not sure on time, but you know, we ain't trying to have a snooze fest either. So yeah, I want people 2 hours.
Maybe some people want to hear what else you had to say, but yeah, I've got a few actually. I'm looking forward to. In terms of new shows, the case study of Vanitas, I'll make it quick. It's a book written by Jun Mochizuki. Vampires, dark fantasy, Black Plague type of shit I'm into. You know what I mean? And that's like a highly anticipated that's on the come up. Just I've been hearing about and seeing the manga. Sunny Boy, another one that's on the just got its US release date. Original creator Shingo Natsume, that's on the horizon for the summer. I think like by the end of July, we should have that coming out. But basically, a classroom of kids getting transported to another dimension and awakening to supernatural powers. What's not to like about that? Those are two of the newer shows I'm looking at. But I mean, the darker fantasy, adventure, steampunk, vampire, werewolf, something like that, deep noir, dark shit, count me in. That's my bag. And season 2 of Regular Ragnarok, whenever that happens, because that cliffhanger was a banger.
Yeah, I tend to like
that. You, G?
I'm looking forward to new seasons of shows that have already come out. Like, take for instance, like I want to see. I'm looking forward to the next season that premieres in the States of like Goblin Slayer. Like I want to see another season of Beastars. I want to see another season of Rising of the Shield Hero. Those are just a few, as far as like of animes that I feel like are somewhat known. They're not like supremely popular like your My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer or some other ones, but I enjoyed them. I enjoyed a lot of the storylines in those particular shows, but those are just a few I'm looking forward to.
All right, I'm gonna pause the music. I gotta see it. What do you like about Beastars?
What do I like about it?
Yeah.
To be honest, if I'm being 100% like honest, it's not really a set thing that I like about it. It's just kind of more on the lines of this is like, so I don't know, almost like unrealistic. Like these animals are basically like I'm like almost humanistic, and then you have them like cross like all these cross species relationships, people who you think like would never like be together, like all these other things, but like you still have like them at their core and like nature, like the carnivores still like eat meat or whatever, but but they do it like in the back alleys, like in the black market or whatnot. And I guess the thing I like the most about it is kind of like the storyline. You have like the main character who's basically fighting against his nature or whatnot, and he actually wins. Like he doesn't give in to like his natural impulses of being this basically this, I guess, a monster. I mean, which
just in case there's that word thing.
Oh,
I tried to watch it and I honestly couldn't get into it.
Oh,
I'm just, if somebody's looking forward to the next season, I just want to know what they like about it,
But it wasn't. Not saying it was bad. It literally was less the story. I like the animation. I just literally found myself, it didn't grab me enough. So it's something I have to go back to and just kind of start from. Because if I don't follow from the first couple of episodes, I'll let something run and just kind of pick up bits and pieces. But I have to like focus and.
I can understand. I can understand someone not getting into it because basically the show is spoiler alert. Like Will said, thank you for reminding me. Basically, like Will was saying, the show is basically about the main character has fallen for another character, but this character is basically his prey, and like he's always battling this internal conflict of, hey, do I really love her, or is this my natural instinct just telling me, no, you just want to eat her?
Is it a talk piece on toxic masculinity? Is that what it is? Is B-Stars a think piece on toxic masculinity? What, Carl? Talk to him. Preach to him, Carl. Fine.
And I guess the thing that just caught me about it is that he searched through himself so much that he realized that it wasn't, I'm not like actually interested in her because like I'm trying to satisfy my need for hunger or whatnot. No, I really do care about it. And I guess it's not very masculine to like admit, but like part of that hopeless romantic vibe in like animes, that kind of always suckers me in. Like, cause that suckered me in with like Inuyasha, because like that was the first like form of any type of animation where you had like this like love triangle, like betrayal going on. Like most of the animations I'm watching, like at that age, like it's just like pretty rudimentary, one way, like it's action. There's a problem, there's a solution because there's a fight, and I know it's not very complex, but hey, that's kind of what drew me into B-Stars a little bit, kind of with that. I'm always a sucker for like any type of hopeless romanticism, like in animes.
Speaking of, I think recently, I'm not sure if this is a romantic, because I think it is, but ReZero, have you watched that?
ReZero?
ReZero, where he kept, spoiler, but the repeat one.
Yeah. That's repeat using a spoiler. Like that's the general synopsis, but.
No, I mean, but I don't want to that's the basis of like he dies and keeps repeats like starting over, but like that's more of a romantic, I guess, because it is a love story at the end. That's like the first straight love story I got sucked into, because apparently all these years, Rurouni Kenshin was a romance anime too. I had no clue. I was used to Samurai X, Batosa, the Manslayer. But yeah, ReZero kind of gave me. It was weird watching the anime there because I was used to so much action, and it was one of the first non-action, non-real. It's just like the story was really captivating. But what?
Okay, so I have a question.
Go ahead.
So out of a show that you're currently watching that you're really invested into, first off, name the show, and then talk about where do you think the show is going. Where do you think it's going?
A show that I'm currently watching.
One of your shows that's one of your favorites. It can be well known, or it could be virtually unknown or whatnot. Just because I know me personally, I'm always interested in hearing about shows that I don't know about, so I can check them out. I'm always up for finding a good show to binge watch, especially an anime.
Man, I gotta say, go ahead, Vaughn. Go ahead, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't watch it currently. I watched it right before, that was last year, but they were supposed to come out new episodes for it. But
Charlotte is a dope show.
What's that?
Charlotte is a dope show.
Charlotte?
I watched Charlotte too, but I was talking about 91 Days.
Okay.
So me and my wife, once we saw the first episode, we were like, yeah, this would be fire. So we watched that, but the new episodes were set to release. They had a date for it, and then they had a don't. But we know there's a season 2 coming out. We don't really have much information on when it's coming out. So I think that show's gonna go towards. First off, it's a crime drama anime about a dude trying to get revenge. Something that happened to him when he was a kid. So I think from that, after the end of the first season, the perfect person that he's looking for to find. So I think from there, they're gonna go to. From there, they're gonna go to another person, but that's directly related to him. Just because I don't think it would make much sense if you talk about the same person since he achieved most of his goals in the show. But yeah, I'm really looking. I want to see that where that goes. That and then another show that we're watching. Dang it, I forgot the name of it. But these people they have. It's an expert show. So it's pretty much people just with magical psychic abilities and stuff like that. I had to look up the name again because I don't want to get on here and act like a dude who don't know what he's talking about because I can't even remember the name right now. That's just one of them. I got a lot of them. I've watched so much anime that I forget the names of. It's just me. It's just what I consume now. So sometimes I'll be watching stuff and I won't even know the name of it. So people started doing events from the show. I've seen that. And I started talking to them about what I can't remember. So.
Man, that sucks the most. What getting good into something again and realizing wait, I've seen this.
I've seen it before.
I know I've watched this. I'm gonna go there. I think I'm gonna jump into horror a little bit, some horror anime. I've been really so in terms of watching, I haven't been committing a lot of time because most of the shows that I was watching are, we've caught up, like Black Clover. I'm trying to keep up with My Hero, but week to week, I kind of like to wait. I'm telling you, dude, Black Clover, you are so anti, but I'm going to make you an Austenite yet. I promise you, I will convert you, bro.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Banks is against Black Clover. Will and I are trying to convert him over to the dark side, but
we will make him an Austenite and make him an honorary Black Bull. I'm telling you, dude, it's a story right up your alley, though. It's a ragtag crew that keeps doing the impossible and saving everybody, and they really figured out as a show how to minimize the filler and just tell a good story and keep the action rolling, because every other episode somebody's getting rinsed. I swear. Once you get past the first 30 episodes, every single episode somebody.
You gotta watch 30 episodes to get into it. That's bullshit.
Man, they gotta lay the foundation, baby. Oh, you gotta stick with it. It's called building a story.
I knew Tokyo Ghoul was gonna be good after two fucking episodes.
Well, yeah, but think about how Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, yeah, true. Black Clover did. I didn't know Black Clover was gonna be good until Oscar got his shit pushed back. Not getting his grimoire. When his grimoire first manifested. Spoiler if you haven't watched it. Earlier, that's 3 episodes in at least. But I'm looking forward to
episodes in the Tokyo Ghoul. It took me one episode to get into Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that's true. Something about seeing that nigga mom get a really set the tone.
I was like, yo, I'm watching this shit.
Everything I said the N word, but yeah, when Aaron saw his mom get, hey, that was you knew what you was in for.
Hey, bro,
I'm looking forward.
I feel that no, I'm not. You can't debate that the things that catch your attention, but I know there've been quite a few animes that I had to, give them a chance, give them longer than 5 episodes. And like, I was happy that I did. So I can't think of them yet, but I know they out there.
I don't mind 5. If you got 30 episodes and you need 5 to explain the story, but 30, you have to get past the first 30 to even enjoy the show. That's a little excessive.
You don't need 30 episodes to get into Black Clover though.
You do.
Keep in mind though, bro, the show is keeping up with the manga. Like it is very much like they built it up like that because that's exactly how the manga followed, and the manga's a hit too. But to answer the question, I've been reading Something That's Killing the Children by James Tynion, and that's a big hit, a fantastic story. That's not manga. That's just a comic, graphic novel, book. However it's framed, it's out there. It's dope. But reading that has got me wanting to get into Higurashi When They Cry. Season 2 is about to come out. It's a little horror animated. I've been hearing a lot about some town that's actually based off a real town with a past of its own. We'll save that for another episode deep dive. But the second season is definitely going to be into it. Because something about the name in Japanese translates to when they the way it's pronounced, which I have to get the romanization, but the second season is when you put it together, it means complete. So I think we're going to find out, which I want to take some time to binge through this first season while it's out. But I think we're going to see that come to an end. And it's getting a lot of whispers and threads about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's about, stepping off that page.
All right. So I got two shows I'm curious to see where they're going to go. One is very well known. Another one, not so much. So the first one, I keep up with My Hero Academia faithfully. Like Will said, I prefer to let the episodes build up so I can watch them all all together. But I'm kind of curious as to where the show's kind of going. I mean, because the ending point, this is leading to Midoriya becoming the best hero in the world. But at the time, where they're at right now, I'm just kind of like, well, where is this going? Because there's this, it's kind of this awkward phase where, Endeavor has a #1 spot, but after him, I mean, who else can you really count on? And at the end with the last episode that aired, you have this date that's mentioned, and you have this number over 100,000. Over 100,000 what? Are you telling me out of nowhere, after All Might's just been smashing the enemies left and right, that somehow there's another adversary that's got 100,000 people out there ready to do what? Take over the world? I mean, is as great as Class A, 1A and 1B are. I mean, are there enough heroes in training to even survive something like that? What are they trying to say? Where are they going with this? I'm interested and kind of curious and don't know where they're going. Another show I'm kind of interested.
Not to cut you off, but before you continue, for those who don't know, My Hero Academia is a newer anime set that's basically surrounding a group of students in school and training to be superheroes. In this world, superheroes are a very real thing. People are born with quirks. They have powers. So you can watch that. That's streaming on Hulu. Check it out. There are 5 seasons loaded?
I think there are 6 seasons.
Yeah, we're in the 5th or 6th now. That's coming out week to week, but you've got enough to watch. So if you guys want to check it out, if it's new to you, that's what you can do. At least that's why I watched it. So go ahead, Carl, my bad.
Oh, you're cool. So another show, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm hoping we get more episodes, but Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. I don't know if you guys.
How is that? I've seen it, but I haven't watched it. The synopsis looks interesting enough.
It's I like it. I mean, I like it from a standpoint on spoiler alert. So obviously in reincarnation, somebody obviously dies, and this guy gets a new lease on life, and like in his new life, he's a prodigy, and whatnot. But it ends with him and the person that he's traveling with. They get basically thrust into like a whole different part of like the country, and they have no idea where they're at. And but long story short, like what I was saying, he's this magician, like this magic prodigy, like in his new life, and basically basically everything that he couldn't do or that he was unable to do in his former life, he's a lot more helpful, and it's just, I'm just kind of curious as to where they're going with it, because he's becoming like this great magician. He's helping like the girl that he's with like learn magic, and she's becoming a great swordsman and all these other things. And like they're traveling with what is viewed as like basically like the worst person in the world, like the type of people who they blame for all the calamity or whatnot. He's a part of the race, and they're traveling with him, and he kind of identifies it as him because in his former life he was an outcast. But I'm interested to see where it goes, because you could say there's a little pervertedness in it, but it's very funny to me. But there's a lot of action in it as well. Mm-hmm.
Is it a hentai, Carl?
You said what?
Is it a hentai? Is that what it is, bro?
And I can't hear you.
You said there's a pervertedness into it. What is this you're talking about, man?
No, I'm saying, you know how in anime, like even in My Hero Academia, you have Mineta being like perverted and like in his like Master Roshi.
You mean like Food Wars? Spoilers. Have you watched Food Wars?
I haven't.
Bro, just the preface. Don't watch that with your mom. Like it's 100%. It's all there. The innuendos are from the first episode. It's very, very suggestive and provocative. Gets the people going. So, you know. But to go back to My Hero, because I had to watch the magician thing. I'm surprised All Might ain't dead yet. Like I really thought he was done for in the last season.
Well, I think Midoriya
it's not coming. I don't know. I have not read ahead. I'm not reading the manga. Listeners, I'm not. But just where we're at in the anime.
I think Midoriya prolonged that once he paired up with Eri, and they had that huge fight with Overhaul.
The fight with Overhaul. Ooh. Talk about do we want to put that in a top 10 anime moment?
Heck yes, bro. That's okay.
Think about it now.
I'll put it this way. That fight with Overhaul, that's about the equivalent of Goku going Super Saiyan the first time.
You talking about Midoriya fought Overhaul?
Yeah.
That shit was kind of hard. I'm not gonna play.
I'm not saying it's not. But think about what he said. He said the equivalent to when Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time. You remember how electrifying that shit was?
Now, you know what? Even though I really like that fight with Overhaul, I gotta object on the Goku part, because the part that I would compare to the Goku going Super Saiyan is when fucking Midoriya was trying to save the little boy with the spikes on his horns, on his head, and he was getting crushed to the ground. Oh. And he was like on some, I'm not gonna let you die. Like, bro, that episode is what made me like My Hero Academia as much as I like it. Because at first I was like, oh cool, they showing him boxing. But on that episode, I was like, yo.
Hey bro, Midoriya be having some moments. You know what sold me on My Hero? Like it was good from the jump, but the whole Stain arc. like when they were still in school and dealing with the villain Stain showing up and like that whole coming together of the Legion leading up to the fight with One for All, like that. I was like, yo, this show like turned it up a notch and got really, really serious.
Yeah.
But
well, I would say,
I'll
say the only reason I say like the fight with like Overhaul is like on par with like Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time is because in that moment, like when like Eri has her quirk activated, he's able to go 100% with One for All that very first time, and his hair spikes up and gets lighter, just like as if he was like almost like going Super Saiyan, and like he.
That was a nod though, right?
Huh?
That was like more of a nod. Like I don't think it's a secret that My Hero directly borrows from. I know from DBZ and Naruto. It's kind of like.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't a nod. I'm saying more so like that's why I link it to that, because like you have this very first moment where Midoriya is able to tap into his 100% power and has full control. And man, he hit Overhaul so hard. When he hit Overhaul that one time, he hit him so hard, I flinched. I was like, what?
Hey, bro. When he swung and all them fists just, it was like, ooh. It was like, oh, he got lit up, bro. That was a hard fight, not gonna lie.
But my hero always had me just because like I like the storyline, but like where they really got me was that fight with All Might and All for One. Like that fight did it for me. Like I mean, not proud of it, but I was a little emotional. Like after
I think that's when I started. I think that's when I started taking My Hero serious. Like up until that point, the Stain arc leading to that, it was kind of, I want to say a little campy for what I remember, but it was still good. But that was when they like that whole Stain arc turned it up. I was like, oh no, this is they're the real deal with this, and it was emotional. It was very, very much the way they wrote that was meant to kind of strike a chord or two. But so if we've got the Overhaul fight is 1, Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time is 2. There are 8 more top 10 moments to make a top 10 anime. What would those other 8 be?
Well, man, that's rough. That's rough.
That's a whole episode of its own. But just if we want to just to get the conversation rolling, because we can actually do some Google research and some revision on this one. But I could think of a few from Gundam, Full Metal, more DBZ, definitely some Street Fighters. I could think of some Princess Mononoke. I could think of a few. What would y'all jump in? What would we want to start at with that?
No, I'm not doing this on this episode, bro. It's too much.
I can think of some that may be worthy, but I'm not saying they would make it, like, because like kind of like what Banks is alluding to, like right now, like you'd have to like take about 50 different moments and then like cut some things out, like no, like this won't make it, but this will. But
I can name one off rip that I think we all might agree on, with Piccolo died saving Gohan.
Oh, what?
When Piccolo died saving Gohan.
No, that's not it. No,
bro. I'll say this. That was a dope moment. That was a dope moment, but I gotta agree with Banks. That's not in the top 10.
No, that was in terms of emotional moments. That's up there with some. Bro, really? I'm shocked.
Look.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some homework on this one to come back.
We gotta look. We're gonna have to make our list. We got to write it down, because we're really gonna have to think about this. It's gonna come from the heart. We're gonna write them down, because right now, Vegeta blowing himself up to save everybody with
Majin Vegeta, yeah. Well, like I said, I could do a top 10 on Dragon Ball Z alone.
If you really want to say what's the best 10 moments in anime you've seen, you're really going to think about it, because you're gonna be like, dang, that's right, I did do that, or dang, I did watch it. So like really, that's not simply just trickle on somebody and expect them to come up with 10 off the rip. But they're gonna come up with some bullshit. So like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that was a better moment.
No, there's definitely more. I'd be surprised if we could get 2 Dragon Ball Z moments in that top 10 list.
You know what I'm saying? Because like think of all the anime you've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the best moments of those animes that you've seen. You could probably get 10 best moments out of one show.
And I'll be honest, I don't think you was super sold on it, but Castlevania gave me some solid moments. I don't know about top 10 all time, but I like what that series did. And I like the story they told.
If you're taking top 10 all time, you really gotta like think about it.
No, yeah, definitely. But I will say you haven't watched. I will say, Carl, though, you watched that whole final that Carmella one about Castlevania. Spoilers. It does stick very much to somewhat of a structure to the vampire allegory, which I think I'm going to say is attributed most of the layer from Bram Stoker to Anne Rice, and then there's been some people to spin off and do their own takes on that. But for the most part, Carmella was no different in Castlevania than she was depicted in Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Kind of, she was a top dog OG vampire that really had little to no concern for humanity and didn't care, like would kill for fun. So much to the point that the other OG vampires conspired against her. At least that was the premise in Bloodlust, to kind of assassinate her for a while just because she was exhausting the food supply because she was just that murderous. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a beast, dude. But she has a fight scene in Castlevania that was top tier. I was like, hey, I was impressed. She held it down, dude. You watched that Castlevania, did you, Carl?
Yeah.
What'd you think on that whole?
I enjoyed that fight scene with her. Obviously, the fight scene with Dracula and Alucard was classic. I think this is just my personal opinion. That fight scene with where I forgot his name. What's the Black Forge Master?
Isaac.
The fight scene where Isaac is attacking that city with his all his creations. With his
army of monsters, he went and got ganged up, bro.
Yes, like that fight scene, that was another good one.
We'll have to dive into that the representation that he like with Isaac as a character and his evolution in that whole series, because I think they did him justice. Like his story arc, his development, and the final fight scene, even leading up to the end of that last season, with the 3 of them, Alucard, Trapor, and what's the chick's name? Start with an S.
Okay, so
you know what I'm talking about, Carl?
What? Hold on. What? Say it again.
What was her name? The mage that's with them. Her name starts with an S.
The maid.
The mage in Castlevania.
Oh! You talking about the speaker magician?
Yeah.
Darn it! I forgot her name.
I have to look it up. I hate that I forgot her name, but yeah, the way they ended up with the 3 of them just going full beast mode for the last 3 episodes, top notch. Vaughn, you'll love it if you give it a chance.
Yeah.
For real.
No.
I have to suffer through some more episodes first.
Okay, so here's just I'm not saying that you have to like give your list right now, but it's something to think about in the future. So what are your top 10? And I'm not saying like they're just one season of these anime, but they're just one season like in the States or whatnot. What are your top 10 one season animes?
I already know off the rip. 2 of mine are gonna be Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo.
You said top 10 animes?
No, top 10 one season animes.
Like one and done. Like that's the end of the show.
Like right now?
Just like all time.
I can definitely say Cowboy Bebop, and that was newer to me. Cowboy Bebop, High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead wasn't supposed to be one anime though.
So what?
High School of the Dead was supposed to have a continuation, but it
was supposed to, but we've only got that one, and we won't get another one because it passed away.
It's not done though. Like one and done is like we're gonna tell the whole story in one season. Like,
well, hold on. Let me fact check because I don't know if there was a creative direction, some conflict there. I want to say, before deciding to continue with an anime.
I thought the
manga
creator
was set.
died.
Huh?
I thought the creator died.
Yeah, but he passed. I think he passed. He did pass away, but I believe before that there was something going on. But let me fact check that.
Man, my head is getting like crazy, bro.
Okay, so I'm not saying these are in it, but I think they're worthy of consideration. Like you guys have mentioned some. Parasite, obviously Death Note, Afro Samurai, Dead Man's Wonderland.
Forgot about Dead Man Wonderland. That's a good one.
I didn't like I liked Dead Man Wonderland from like episode 1 to like 16. Once they was like, oh, we're not letting y'all out of prison, it kind of like got boring. Cause like, spoiler alert, you find out, I ain't gonna know spoiler alert, you find out who really got him put in jail, you're like, yo, this is stupid. But them first, up until like towards the end, it was good. But then towards the end of it, I didn't like it.
I like Claymore.
Yeah, Claymore was dope.
Is Claymore one and done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked
that's pretty good.
Let's see, what else? Charlotte. Charlotte is one season so far, isn't it?
Yeah. That's my thing about new animes. I don't know if Charlotte's one and done, because now how they end anime now with cliffhangers, you never know if stuff's like done or not. So you're like, oh, that was good. I wonder if they're gonna have a season 2. Like, no, that was the show. That was it. Like, that's the whole story. So like with newer anime, sometimes I can't tell. So I gotta like look stuff up, see if they're coming out with new stuff. So
I liked Erased.
Erased was really good, man. That big.
I've been seeing that. Is that worth checking out? Should I add that?
Yes, it is. It's definitely the crazy part about it. I mean, it's really like this very small supernatural aspect to it, but I mean it's just a normal show, but it's still a dope show. I know what's another one? Grimgar Ashes and Illusions. That's another one season one that I
gotta think. But like sometimes like just like trying to remember off the top of my head what's one and done's and stuff. So like it's kind of hard sometimes. So like coming up with like top 10 lists, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard just coming off the top of your head.
I'm gonna have to go back and do a lot of re-binging on some just to make sure.
I just gotta remember which ones are like one and done's and which ones are like.
A number of the mobiles are one and done's in their own, like their own individual stories. Like I'm just about to finish Iron Blooded Orphans. And I forgot how good it was. But that story is total inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Broken up into 2 seasons. The volumes, when it got to the U, I believe it was one long volume, but they broke it up into 2 seasons for the US translation.
Yep.
But that's done.
Oh, best another I don't know. Best Gundam version.
Yeah, that's its own episode as well, because that's you could go through. There's a new one on Netflix too. Hathaway, check that out if you haven't. I did watch it the other night. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all probably not gonna agree with me, but my favorite Gundam series is G Gundam. Have y'all seen that? Yeah, bro, I love G Gundam.
G Gundam, that was the one where they was doing martial arts. It was at UC.
That's definitely when G Gundam was like tournament style Gundam fights.
Yeah. G Gundam, that's hard.
I love Gundam Wing, but G Gundam was like I really like that show. Like, I used to be in class screaming, burning fists and shit like.
I think that's on Hulu or one of the streaming platforms right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen which streaming platform is it on. I haven't seen it on there.
I don't know.
I want to say mobile G Gundam. Yeah.
What's your favorite one? Gundam Wing.
My favorite one is Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing wanted me to. that show
That's
made
all
me
Crunchy.
want my own personal Gundam. Like
That shit
when I remember actually, man, Gundam 01 versus Epion, I think is one of the best fights in anime. Like,
Well, you said favorite Gundam fight or favorite Gundam series?
Gundam Wing is my favorite series, but I think like the fight with 01 and when Epion between Hero and Zex Marquis.
That was a dope fight though.
Yeah.
People, they were just like cutting through like whole spaceships.
Right. Bro, hey, them two suits had so much plot armor, it was ridiculous, man. Like,
Epion,
I
think Epion was my favorite Gundam though. Like my favorite mobile suit. I think Epion was my favorite because it had like the red wing.
Yeah, like that burgundy and black.
Yeah, she was my favorite one. It was that one, Death Sight, and then Wing Zero. But yeah.
What do y'all think is the most recognizable Gundam?
Probably
Wing
Endless Waltz, Wing Zero, no, 01.
Zero.
Endless Waltz 01.
Just basically like the red, white, and yellow and blue Gundam. Cause like
Are y'all into collecting Gundams at all?
I know a dude who is, but definitely not me. Because sometimes you gotta put them shits together. And I ain't got the patience.
Yeah, you putting together no toys, huh? Nah, but I mean, some of that stuff is dope. It's amazing to me how readily available all of it is today. When I remember back when we was coming up, you had to pay a couple of $100 to order something from, Japan, and now you can go to a spot in Opera. Yeah, it's $30, bro.
Bro, I've got the whole season of Gundam Wing on DVD, but like I couldn't, for the life of me, I could not get Endless Waltz. Like I don't know why. Like it was just like a lost artifact. Like I had to like download it.
I recorded it on Cartoon Network. They came on like every week.
Speaking of Crunchy, 15 years ago they went live. Shout out to them. Transforming the way we consume anime. No.
Yeah, people underground, dog. I was
You had no love for Crunchy?
I got love for Crunchy. I fuck with Crunchy. I fuck with Crunchy way more than I fuck with anything else. Just cause like Crunchyroll play, like they got a wide variety of stuff instead of just like, cause I think American streaming services, they just play what's popular. Like, top 40 hits of anime. Crunchyroll, bro, you get on there and find some obscure shit that, I mean, there's way more obscure stuff that you can find online, but like, it's illegal. So.
No, going from being just sort of a platform to access or download or however, then transform into a stream and then becoming their own, because there is a Crunchyroll Originals now.
Yeah.
They get the rights and they produce some shows, and Netflix is doing a good job with that too. Putting out a lot of, translating a lot of manga, like, yeah, let's get it dubbed, let's get it out. To that note, Record of Ragnarok, one of my newer guilty pleasures. It's kind of a historical mashup, different religious ideas, novels, video game, even I think there's some Dynasty Warriors in it, but a grand tournament fighting to determine the fate of mankind and humanity.
Did you see that Dynasty Warriors movie on Netflix?
Say what?
Did you see that Dynasty Warriors movie on Netflix?
I haven't watched it. I saw it's coming. So yeah, I was just like, oh, interested that those lined up together. But I'm gonna give it a watch. Not sold on it.
I don't know. I mean, I used to love Dynasty Warriors, the game, as a kid. Like I could play that stuff for hours.
I never got
so I know I asked this question about like where do you see this show going, but what do you guys, if they make a second season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where do you see it going?
If they make a second season of it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't even watch the first one yet. So.
Okay.
It was good. It's interesting to see what Marvel's got cooking. I think, will we get a second season? I don't know. They're doing a pretty good job at setting us up for this multiverse, so I could see it. I can only predict that it's probably going to follow the comic outline. I think was '08, '09 when this run started with Falcon as Captain America, and that was at some point running simultaneously with the Secret Wars Hydra story arc of Steve Rogers. So I mean, I'm not super versed in that. I mean, these are just two different stories that were happening, but I'm not super versed in the Falcons run as Captain America, but we'll see. I mean, one thing for sure, two things for certain, Marvel hasn't made a bad bet yet. You know, I don't think they can lose.
I don't know. I don't know if we can say that.
Okay. You didn't like Captain Marvel?
Fuck and no. I did not like Captain Marvel.
Bro, what was wrong with Captain Marvel?
Bro, Captain Marvel was. Oh, let me get a quick spiel rundown of this because I could go on for 3 hours on why I didn't like Captain Marvel. Number one, it was so dry and boring as far as character development, as far as like you have like these interesting back characters that are like now the front runners of the news that they didn't know, like no. Oh, I work in the military. Oh, cool. Back to Captain Marvel. Like you have no backstory on any of the. Even though this is like an introduction movie, you really don't have any backstory on any of the supporting characters. They just support them for no reason. Like, and then like they had no real villain. They bucked up. They made the Kree like the villains of the entire movie. I'm like, bro, like, come on, man. We get it. You're trying to give like a political statement that sometimes the good guys can be the bad guys. We get it, but not the Kree. This is Marvel. This is comic book stuff. We have a whole history of like who are the bad guys. So if you make the Skrulls the good guys and the refugees, then how do you make Super Skrull? Because Super Skrull came from the invaders that were on Earth that Captain Marvel would have been fighting.
I mean, yeah, but Super Skrull was an experiment.
I know, but
not. I mean, we know the Skrull. Yeah, we know the Skrull have the. It's just
Skrulls are the good people, and Skrulls are experimenting in making these super soldiers. Why are they making the super soldiers that are the good people?
How do we not know that they aren't leading up to a reveal that the Skrull were actually bad?
Because that
phase 4.
Because you already killed the Kree guy who was going around hunting down the power to become powerful. Like if you make the Kree, like if you in Captain Marvel, if you make the Kree evil, you have to make the person that's controlling the Kree evil. Because they're the ones that's actually under the great power, in their universe or in their homeland that's telling them to do everything. So if these people are evil and they are like right under
these a supreme power.
Yeah, they make supreme power evil.
The supreme intelligence or whatever.
All Kree's evil.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think that Captain Marvel's outlay, like mind you, that movie retconned a lot that we thought we already knew.
And that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think that's finite. I think that was just a point in time, and that phase 4 will probably get more retconning. And the good thing about that.
It's bad. That's bad.
I don't think that's bad. I don't think.
Retcon 70 years of Marvel and be like, oh yeah, that's what it is. No.
But it wasn't, I don't think they presented that to establish it as finite. We do know the MCU, the cinematic universe, varies a little bit. It's different from the actual comics established. But
making the entire race of people who are supposed to be good, good people who want to better the universe, the bad guys of the movie.
But you do realize they established that the Kree were evil long before Captain Marvel. Ronan, the accuser, is the Kree in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ronan, the accuser, was not working under the supreme power.
He is conquering at the point we're introduced to him in Guardians. He is conquering for the advancement of the Kree Empire. He is
advancing for the Kree Empire, but he's doing it as a rogue, as a Ronin. His name is Ronin because Ronin means he's a masterless swordsman. Like he's doing all this shit on his own. The Kree and Captain Marvel.
Is he the acting last? Do we know if it's established that he's the last of the Kree? Because if he's the last of the Kree, it doesn't matter whether he's on his own or not. If they are the last of the Kree and they're all that's left and they're conquering,
there's a difference.
They're still the Kree Empire.
There's a difference between a rogue person, a rogue, and somebody who's working for the Supreme. They're working directly.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, at that point that we see him, is it established that are they the last of?
No,
because
he's not.
What is and Captain Marvel has the end? Did she destroy the Supreme Intelligence, or what is that? Can it be destroyed? Even?
What?
Can the Supreme Intelligence even be destroyed in Captain Marvel?
Hey, bro, you got to cut your mic up. I can't hear you.
Can the Supreme Intelligence be destroyed in Captain Marvel?
Can it be destroyed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where their power comes from. Like she makes the they even try to make it seem like the Supreme Power was evil when it was telling Kree to go do all the stuff.
So the Supreme Intelligence at the end, because I'd have to go back and rewatch, but is it destroyed at the end of Captain Marvel?
Is it destroyed? No.
Okay.
So hold on, guys. All right, so real quick.
Well, we can't pause that while we get into a good topic. Like we're in the middle of that, or you can't pause that. Like we can't stop that while we're in the middle. We got to finish that. So with that said, Banks, we don't know where the Supreme, because Guardians doesn't mention where the Supreme Intelligence is, does it?
How about what?
Guardians never mentions where the Supreme Intelligence is, or any of the events prior to.
It doesn't, but I know that in Captain Marvel, these Kree were entering back to the home station and were like, okay, yeah, we're on it. And was trying to kill Captain Marvel earlier. This shit was dumb.
Now, when you think about the layout of the MCU, that story, that's kind of making sense. Like, yeah, there's some retconning out of which that's not a secret. But I don't think it's meant to establish a finite set. Like, as we know with the multiverse coming up and these shows, there's going to be a lot that they can pull and take and do with that.
If they do,
which speaking while we're on the subject, Black Widow's coming out in 2-3 days. So segue there.
Listen. If they do multiverse,
we know the multiverse is coming. That's happening.
I know. If they do, they're doing multiverse. So let's say the Supreme Power was evil in this verse. The Captain Marvel that we have is in main timeline. So like that would be what happened. That's what happened.
For that point in time. But mind you, there's a whole lot that from the Captain Marvel to Endgame, Infinity War, and then beyond. There's a lot that's yet to see. Bro. But I mean, I for the record, I like Captain Marvel. I can see people's hangers with it, but I didn't dislike the movie. I thought it was
pretty good. I dislike that one, and I dislike Thor, Dark World. So
we all think, Dark World. We don't talk about Dark World. Carl, do you talk about Dark World?
No. And Iron Man 2.
My man said Jay-Z.
Listen, I mean, I love pretty majority of the things Marvel puts out. I know most beginner movies, they're not the best. It's occasionally like you'll get an Iron Man, you get a Black Panther, but most of them they kind of start off slow. So I'm not really a harsh critic on Captain Marvel in that regard. My biggest issue with the movie was the fact that I felt like they waited too long to show what she's really capable of. Like when you see her doing, I'm like, what in the world is this? Like Captain Marvel's way stronger than to be like running after people. Like what? I mean, so but that's just me. But as far as like I want to bring it as far as like for like our next episode. some good topics. I think we could talk about like who we want to see play Storm next. The topic of Black Panther, like from a cinematic standpoint about what we feel like should be done with the role. Like I know just not to like go into detail, but me personally, I think it's a no-brainer that they should recast.
We'll table that. But that's coming up for a whole episode for y'all, the whole Black Panther conversation, particularly where the sequel, obviously, Two Kingdoms, rumors of Namor, but what's going to happen next? Obviously, RP to the great Chadwick Boseman, and thank you for what he did and what he brought to the screen in that role, for bringing a Black Panther to life and the representation, what that means for, a bunch of Black kids everywhere around the world. But yeah, that's a conversation in and of itself that we need to dive into moving forward. We've spent a lot of time, more time than usual, on anime because this pod is really designed to talk about more than anime. But are y'all excited about anything comic-wise that's coming out or it's on scenes right now? I know a lot of comics are getting brought in or converted into anime. One of the more popular, newer, Invincible, which is solid. But anything y'all reading out there, comics-wise?
I'm not a big DC fan, but I'm really looking forward to the new Static Shock that's coming out. They're redoing that. So Static Shock, I'm looking forward to like some indie stuff that I've seen. Waiting for Society 2.0 to come out. What else, man? Waiting for the new Spawn to come out.
You know what I was just gonna say. I was waiting on the. You know what I'm waiting on. Matter of fact, I bought not one, not two, but 3 copies of issue number 1, Spawn Universe Daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Waiting for my Spawn to come back out here and start curb stomping motherfucking demons.
So apparently a lot's been happening in the Spawn universe since I've been gone. For those of you who don't know, it's a huge mistake that Iron Man is my favorite superhero. It was not. Spawn. He was my number 1 superhero. I'll never forget when Spawn came out. It was the first, when we talk about representation matters, Spawn was the first Black superhero that I looked at and said, oh, this nigga is bad. Like, he was legit. He had the coolest backstory. He was a mercenary soldier, like murking anybody could get it. Well, at least, it seemed like that was cool. That's murder, not cool at all. But he was a hitman for hire. He got betrayed by his best friend. It's always a Judas, nothing perfect to make a nigga the hero he needs to be, right? And on his way to hell, because he lives so shitty, he strikes a deal with the devil and gets all sorts of hellspawn powers and leaves like right back like he never left. And the whole story, I recently got the compendium, which is first original issues 1 to 50 that McFarlane did on the run. And it's just, this Spawn universe is meant to lay the foundation for a multiverse within the Spawn universe. Because apparently there are different spawns. There have been all sorts of different, like there was an Omni Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, She Spawn, like all sorts of this, a medieval spawn, a medieval witch-based spawn run. But all of this is following the aftermath of the war between heaven and hell, God and devil. Currently, the throne of hell is vacant. And this is all leading up to the launch of King Spawn, which I am effing pumped for. Because apparently whoever has, that's 2 different comics, Spawn Universe and King Spawn, but whoever has control of the throne of hell essentially has the power to do everything. And, Spawn walks that line of religious, but deals with a lot of, he's an anti-hero. They deal with a lot of dark things, a lot of, philosophical, just life things, existing things. And not to spoil, but the story of Spawn itself, I encourage people to look up or read. The reason there's a big twist, which there's a reveal at the end of Spawn, which if you're a long time reader and lover of it, you don't really pick up on the actual reason why he goes to hell until you get to the very end of that, those first 300 something issues. But Spawn's Universe and King Spawn are definitely on my top 2 lists and new comic releases.
Awesome, guys. I know, like me personally, some of the ways like you feel about Spawn, I feel that way about Blade. I know. When we can talk about it, that on like the next episode. But I won't go into detail on it. But I just want to I just want to just drop that off as we close. Great first episode. Look forward to doing more with you fellas. And once again, I'm Carl Tomlinson, aka Chaos Black. I'll turn it over to our fellow co-host.
I'm Banks himself.
I know me, it's Murphy's Law 615. Before we do wrap, Blade saved Marvel. I want to give him his flowers for that. It gets talked about in friends, but you mentioned Blade.
I know. I wanted to save that for the next, because we could talk about that for another whole hour.
Yeah, we could go in on that, but we got something cooking for y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in and checking us out. Guys, when's the next episode? We're gonna make this a weekly thing, bi-weekly. What are we talking about? So they know when to come back and catch us and where they can follow us.
We could. I know. I'm definitely down for doing every Wednesday. This is right up my alley, and we could also do specialty episodes when big news drops, or especially after a premiere of a highly regarded comic reel, or something big happens in the anime world, or a huge Marvel movie drops, stuff like that.
There's all sorts of big things coming, cinematically, comically, the cons, things opening back up. So all the cons, is Comic-Con 2022 going to be a thing? We need to make that?
I don't know, but it's I don't know. I would love to go though. So.
Comic-Con, Dragon Con, and not to forget Prism Black. There's a whole roster of releases, up-and-coming titles, merch that Prism Black. You can check it out, prismblack.com. You can follow my man at Banks himself on Twitter, his IG. I'm at Murphy's Law 615. That's my IG. You can also catch me on Clubhouse with that. Carl, if you want to throw yours and take us on off, we're about.